I think we could have played better.
You played better the first set.
Yep.
What changed between set 1 and set 2 on your side you saw?
I mean, obviously, Omaha is a great team. They made some adjustments that I thought rattled us a little bit. They started putting up a better block. They started serving tougher. But I thought in the third set, we came out and passed better and gave ourselves opportunities. And so right now, we're just kind of popcorning around with what goes wrong each set and trying to figure out how to play with this new lineup and what we have out there on the floor. So it's just finding some consistency.
You were out there. How much fun was that first set and kind of figuring out the flow of things and things are going your way that first set?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a lot of fun to play in Omaha and play in front of a lot of fans and obviously playing against the number 1 ranked team. And I think when things are really good for us and things are flowing, it's definitely a lot of fun. So if we can find a way to do that more often and more consistently, I think that we'll have a shot to win the championship.
Nora, I think your best offensive night this professional too. I mean, you came in with a team called upon you. What was your mindset when you entered the match? Kind of how do you think you performed?
Yeah, I feel like I had a different mindset. I thought you were gonna say something. I feel like I had a different mindset going onto the court this game, as I've had in the past. I think me and Amy had a lot of conversations this week of just being able to feel freed up when I go in and feel like the pressure's off and just be able to play like myself. So I feel like I kind of had a mindset shift and obviously a lot of help from coaches and teammates to just feel freed up to go after it. So I think that definitely helped.
I mean, you said you've been messing with the lineup a little bit, figuring out with the pieces there too. Did you learn anything you can take moving forward from today?
I mean, I know this team is a bunch of fighters. I think that we have had a lot of adversity in the last couple of weeks. I think especially with missing Georgia, that's a huge piece for us. And so I think whether she feels it or not, Shannon continues to get better at libero every single week that we take the floor. And I think if she keeps, excelling in that and taking ownership of it, it's going to feel like normal again for us out there. It was great to see Mellon. I think that she does a wonderful job of giving the team, her and Lydia, anytime we put them in and we use the dub sub, it really gives us a fresh look. Shampoo's battling a contusion on her hip right now, so no front row for her tonight, but I expect to see her back next week. And I think we just keep seeing these really, really bright spots from our bench, and we've got to learn to put it together. And so I don't know if that's something new, but it keeps giving me confidence that we're headed in the right direction.
I mean, I think second match with y'all, how difficult is it to put a setter out there who's, I don't know how much practice she's had, but
I think we came into practice on Tuesday and I called her over and I said, hi, nice to meet you. And that was after she'd actually already been in the gym for a week. And so, like I said, we've just had some stuff going on as a team that we're working through. And yeah, second week, I mean, maybe full six practices with our team. So for her to go out there and I think, like I said, have those bright spots, hitting 316 in the first set. And we put up enough kills. Our kill percentage was really good in the third. We just couldn't turn them when it mattered. And so it's nice to have her. Yeah.
George is out there too. How do you approach the position? Kind of you and Melanie back there too, to kind of fill the void that she's left.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a bummer to see her get injured and be out for this season. This isn't the first time I've stepped in to play libero this year. So I feel like I felt pretty confident from my teammates and my coaches. And I think I felt really prepared, I would say, for this game this week than I have for the last couple. So I think just as time goes on, I'm ready to take on the role. So it's been good so far.
Yeah, thank you.
with us today is head coach Laura Berg-Kuhn, along with middle blocker Kayla Cappy and center Mac Pedraza. Supernovas set a 4-set block record with 14 blocks. Just going down the line, Mac, you finished with 15 digs and 39 assists. Well, Kayla, you had 5 blocks, along with, if I can find it here, 5 kills on a 286 hitting percentage and 3 aces, which ties the Supernovas season high for one player, your own record.
Way to go. Setting records, breaking records. I like it.
You can start us off with an opening statement, your general thoughts about the match.
I'm proud of our response. We talked about just the matchup of Orlando versus us and the different style of play, and I think they owned that first set, but it was our first contacts also. We made some changes, obviously, personnel, but I'm proud of the way that our team responded and we got back to us, and it was a grind and just earning points.
How did the energy shift from step 1 to step 2?
It was kind of the mindset and what we talk about it every day at practice, and we have the pieces in the way that we compete at practice and train that moving people in and out, it's a spark, so it was good, but it doesn't feel that foreign to them because we do it a lot. I think it was more an overall response and how we're going to compete and fight. And they set the tone towards the end of the second set. We just got a blocks and digs mindset. And so it started then and just carried over into the second set.
Mac also said when you were at Orlando, when you beat them, what do you think that she does well?
Their game is it's like a rhythm. And so she holds on to the ball longer, gives us more time, but it also is like a rhythm and timing with their block against their block. So I think there are things with matchups that us changing our rhythm and the way that we're running an offense and the physicality at the net, all of those things impact the overall game.
Mac, what was your mindset when you come into the match? When you're down 20-10 in the first set too. How do you kind of get yourself into the flow of the game at that point?
I mean, I've kind of been saying that my job right now is to just be ready. And whenever I get my chances, just to go in and push the energy in the right direction. And that's all I can do. So that's what I did.
How big was the start of the second set? I think you jumped out 7-2 lead. You really kind of flip the switch and the first set is over. How big was the start of the second set for you?
Huge. I think it also kind of started even more so for me, at least in the first set. I came in and I don't even know point wise what we did, but like it felt more like the momentum and the control was on our side. So I think we just carried that right into the second set.
Kayla, you especially that third set, you really established physicality at the net too. I mean, what was working well for you?
Yeah, I think that we were talking a lot at the front just about like what they were running and their play sets and really keying in no matter who they were changing in and out. And then also me and Mac, I feel like she was feeding me, she was trusting me, and like we just kind of got a rhythm going and it worked for us.
Back to back. How much fun is that? You get back to back one.
So fun.
Kayla, could you kind of sense, I mean, how did you sense the difference between the first and second? What did you see was different?
Yeah, I think the first set, we just kind of came out nonchalant. It wasn't because we don't respect our opponent. I feel like it's like what Bird said. Sometimes we do that in practice too. And we're like, come on, guys, like this isn't us. Like we need to have urgency. We need to play hard right now. And we flipped that switch. And so I think we just flipped the switch and we knew that we had to like come out and actually like compete. I think we just had a slow, like kind of sluggish start going in, but that felt more like us in the rest of the sets.
Bird, what'd you like that Allie gave you tonight?
There's certain players that are just a spark. There's something about when they come in, she has a really dynamic, just a arm, to be honest. So that gets us going. And there is a physicality, a component to her being up there and just in front of their attackers. That's kind of what happened down in Orlando. So she's a great spark player for us. And she plays like that every day at practice. So again, I just always go back to our training and the way that they compete at practice. They're going to do those things and it's not going to feel that crazy when they get in those opportunities. And so I'm proud of them, all of them together and how they changed that momentum and started competing.
You heard Jeff say they tied the block record too. I mean, how much pride do you take in that here? You set records with your block.
I take a lot of pride in that because one thing that we're going to do in practice is blocks and digs. And that's something that Bird is always like on us about in the huddle. And after the first set, she was like, come on, guys, like we need to go, like blocks and digs. That's a drill we do every day in practice, and it's just working on good, clean touches. And so I really pride myself that I was able to do that because that is like our bread and butter in our gym.
What part of those 5 blocks or 3 aces?
Ooh.
Both.
We've also implemented a chair in our serving.
Practice,
So
yeah.
she was definitely knocking the chair over
Yes.
at the end there.
What's in the chair?
Like one of those folding chairs,
Yeah.
we put it wherever we want them to serve. And if they knock it over, they get 5 points. If they hit it, they get 2. So we get crazy about the chair.
The chair.
I love it.
I like that you just left it at we implemented a chair.
Yeah.
I'm not. You should have been like, I'm not.
I didn't even think about that. If we implemented a chair, timeout chair, it's a timeout seat. They actually go sit in it when they miss it. God, that would be crazy. You do that? Oh, I love that. We might add on to that. There we go. See?
Figuring things out. Mac, how proud are you of kind of position you are today to beat Orlando again too? Kind of you got a month left of the regular season. How proud are you? Where do you think the team is right now?
I mean, I really like where we're at. We can always get better. We can always keep going up. Yeah, I think we're doing a good job in the gym, grinding every single day, doing those blocks and digs, making that our game. And yeah, we're in a good spot. We need to keep winning though.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.